In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a pivot table to reshape and summarize your NEB comprehension trial responses from long to wide format, such that one participant's data appear on one row. So I'm going to start by creating a new sheet. And I'm going to rename this as NEB comprehension pivot table. We want to insert the new pivot table here in cell A1. We can do that by clicking on the Insert tab up here and click on the pivot table icon here. So pivot table will ask for a few things. First, it would ask for the data that you want to analyze. In this case, we want to analyze the data from this sheet here. So I'll click on this sheet and select all of my columns in this sheet here. Let me redo that. So as you can see, as you select the sheet and the columns, this field here automatically is automatically filled for you. So we don't have to worry about the two other options here because we're not really using these functions here. So we'll ignore those. Pivot table would also ask where you would like the pivot table to be placed in. And because we've specified earlier where we want the pivot table to be placed in, again, this field here is filled for you automatically. And the third thing that pivot table wants you to decide on is whether or not you want to analyze multiple tables. In this case, because we're only working with one table, we'll keep this option unchecked. So we'll click on OK. Now you'll see this section here appearing on the right-hand side of your screen. So what we want is subjects appearing on each row. So we'll click and drag subject into the rows area here. We also want to calculate an average accuracy score for the comprehension trials. So the accuracy scores can be calculated from the correct variable here. So we'll click and drag correct into values. So by default, the pivot table calculates the sum of the variable. So we need to change this to average. To do that, we'll click on the drop-down arrow here and click on Value Field Settings. We then need to specify that we want the average calculation. So you can see that each column, each row here represents a new participant. And these values here represent the average accuracy score for the comprehension trials. And this is done.